afternoon, everyone. Let me ask you a question, right? Before I talk about how many of you here, right? Educators themselves here. How many of you have felt stressed at least once in last 6 months? Can I see raise of hands? Simple question. पीछे तक सुनाई दे रहा है? Can you hear me? Great. How many of you have felt stressed at least once in last 6 months? Can you raise your hands?
I'm for every day.
You're for Thank you, Professor Sharma.
I'm for every moment.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you another question, right? How many of you think your students feel stressed at least once in last 3 months? How many of you think?
No stress.
No stress, okay. A lot of people think there is stress in students.
We are there to take it.
You are there to, that's why you have stress all the more every time. But thank you for sharing. Let me ask you another question, right? Any of you, if you would like to share, what are some of the things that you think student feels stressed because of? Competition. What else? Employability, competition, attendance. Okay, what else? Sorry? Getting? Okay. So we've got a lot about education, about employability. What else? Peer and family pressure. Okay. What else?
Search of a friend.
Search of a friend. Okay. Let me share some of this data with you, right? A lot of research, so we've been working in this area for last 10 years now. And one of the things, this is just last year's data of 1 lakh plus sessions that we have done. We saw one of the major things, right? More than 29% of the sessions or the stress levels was because of self-improvement or personal development, right? Not feeling confident enough. I think others are better than me. That seems to be quite high. Another thing, right? In this age of AI, in this age of so much of information bombardment, they also seek for connection and meaning and purpose in their life, right? That's one of the reasons relationship seems to be one of the highest areas for which people seek support for. In fact, my team member would have given you this report as well with over 1 lakh sessions that we did, right? One of the things that we saw, more than 90% of the students were going through moderate to severe stress. 1 out of every 3 was going through severe to extreme stress, right? And because of some of these issues that we talked about. And we all know, right, the epidemic of suicides is really on a rise. The ICMR data suggests in 2015, which is not very long ago, 10 years ago, 1 out of every 6 students has a suicidal ideation. Do you know what that number is in 2023? That number is 1 out of every 3 students had a suicidal ideation. The reason I'm talking to you about it personally, so my name is Richa. I run this organization called YourDOST. And the reason I came into this space as well, way back, 16 years back when I was in college, I studied at IIT Guwahati. I lost a friend of mine to suicide. And for what? Just because her grades were not good, she thought she might not get a good placement much before any company had also come to campus. Even at that time on our campus, we had some support system in the form of psychologists, counselors, psychiatrists, but not many people would go to them. I think culturally also in our society, there is a little bit of stigma around seeking psychological help. Ki log kya kahenge, log mera mazak to nahi udaenge, and so on. I think personally that's what intrigued me into this subject. I started asking myself, what is that I could have done differently to maybe support her, save her, or support a lot of people like us before things got that severe. And with that, we really started YourDOST, which is a And I'm not here so much to talk about YourDOST. I'm sure you can find out about it. It's a technology platform where regular people like you and me, right? It could be student, it could be faculty, it could be staff. They could be anonymous, they could call themselves Superman, Batman, whatever they like, and seek support and guidance from professionals, learn about themselves, seek a lot of support through self-help tools, etc. also, right? And mostly, I think I was talking to someone in the morning, mostly students seek support late in the night, right? 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. is like our highest time slot. 70% of our sessions happen at that time. So they have all of that support available. As I have leaders on various educators sitting right here, I also wanted to highlight some points, right? In fact, in our research, just for last year's data, I'm not even talking about, this data is more than 1 lakh touch points, right? More than 1 lakh sessions. One of the things that we realized during the students are struggling at some places, right? Especially at exam times, we saw 62% of the students were finding it difficult. Their eating cycles were getting disrupted. For 77%, their sleep cycles were getting, so daily functioning is getting affected. Women seem to have more moderate stress, whereas men seem to have more high stress, right? And I know as institutions work with more than 200 plus educational institutions across the country, I know as leaders, as educators, the heart is in the right place. The intent is in the right place, saying how do we shape the future of this country? How do we support these students to be the best, right? How do we create a campus which is caring? And with a lot of research that we have done, I also wanted to quickly take you through a framework of what does a caring college looks like. And then also maybe do a small exercise with you, right? So a caring college, these are the pillars of wellness for a caring college, which has 8 pillars. You might also have this in your handout, just whoever wants to use that later. One is physical wellness, right? Which is students' ability to sustain their regular physical health, right? It could be through providing support of yoga, gym, other activities, other physical activities on campus, sports, etc. Emotional wellness, right? Are we able to provide support to the students so that they could manage their daily stressors well, right? They could cope up well in their life and if required, seek support. A student, the other would be your social wellness, right? That student's ability to build real meaningful connections with their friends, with their family members, with their teachers, whoever it is, right? Digital wellness, very important. Are we supporting students to use technology in a responsible way? It can be our friend also, it can be our enemy also. Are we making our students such that they engage with technology in a more responsible way? Vocational and intellectual wellness, and a lot of the great panelists talked about it here, right? Which is, I think the superpower we have in this age of AI is also that we are humans, right? That humanness is our superpower. Are we enforcing that culture of learning, that culture of critical thinking? Because maybe some of the careers which are even there right now are not even going to be there 5 years later. Right? Do we build that skill of resilience? Safety, do we provide that environment which is safe, secure, protecting students from harm, including bullying, prevention of sexual harassment and so on, right? Inclusion, do people from all stratas of the society feel welcomed? All genders feel welcome? Influence, right? Which is addressing some of the external factors. It could be substance, it could be parental expectation, it could be alumni influence, whatever it is. I know these are fairly large 8 pillars. If you look at your report or maybe a handout like this, there is a small checklist. If it is okay, in the next 1 minute, we will run by the checklist. All I want you to write, if you have that in your institution, say a yes. If you don't have that in your institution, you can put a no. If it is there but it is not very strong yet, you can put a maybe, right? Simple question. Everybody has this? Yeah? Okay, let's start. Is your college equipped to handle mental health emergencies? People who don't have this, you could just raise your hand. Aditya here might give it to you. Or if you have a report, even in the last page, this is there. Let's say you had a mental health emergency in the institution. Can you handle that, right? Do you have systems and policies and clear SOPs saying how do you handle if a mental health emergency happens? Again, if there is a clear documented path, policy, SOP, say a yes. If it is a work in progress, maybe. If it is not there, then a no. Does your college offers mental health professionals on-site and online for things like academic support, relationships, self-improvement, etc.? I'm sure you would have teachers, but I'm looking at mental health professionals, right? Specialized people who could offer support. And like I said, it can be at any time. So ideally, if there is support which is available 24/7, that will be helpful. Are the students, faculty and staff trained to support the well-being? Right? Can they identify if somebody in the class needs help? What should they say? What should they not say? Are there mandatory courses in your college around wellness, life skills, using substance in the, or prevention of sexual harassment, let's be safe, stop addiction for everyone, etc.? Does your college promote responsible digital usage and address any digital or social media misconduct that might be there? If you have it, put a yes, otherwise maybe, or a no. Are there policies and practices to ensure inclusion across gender, age, religion, abilities, neurodiversity? Are there mechanisms to address indicators such as, is there a correlation between academics and your mental health concerns, right? If you see some people, academic indicators, do you do something on their well-being as well, right? Such as, if you see low academic performance, if you see absenteeism, do you provide some proactive support? Is there a provision for students to disclose their needs, mental health needs, right? A lot of these things are also something that they were aware of when they were in schools at the time of induction, so that you could provide them a special support. Are there mandatory clubs or activities for social interaction? Physical fitness, where all the students are touched, not like the same 5 people being part of all these activities, but all the students. It's not for me to, or you to tell that to me, it's just for you to reflect. I think I just want to end by saying, right, creating a caring college is not a destination. It is an ongoing journey. Right? It is an investment that the student, that an institution makes for their success. Well-being is not a support service. It's a very important ingredient of the institution itself. And the institutions, there's a lot of research which says institutions that integrate wellness frameworks very well in their institution ethos itself, see better placement, see better retention of students. So it's also a good business strategy. It's also a responsibility of the students, right, of the institution, right? So that we could better nurture the future of tomorrow.
Well said, well said.
With that,
Thank you so much.
I would like to end. Is there any questions that you have for me?
Well, I think we can take the questions one on one as we are a little bit delayed by the
Absolutely.
time. Thank you so much.
Thank you
एक बार
so much.
जोरदार
Thank you
तालियां